Okay, beautiful people, traders, welcome in. Bam, much love, Trav here, taking a look at the charts today. Make sure our brightness is on max. And let us get into it. So, first thing I'll tell you, this is not financial advice. This is not me telling you what to do. This is merely me sharing so that I can learn better. And I think that's important because I don't want you copying me. I'm having a crazy bad month. I mean, in terms of me trying to follow my system and use risk management. It's been fine. Like, I've never lost more than I budgeted for, but I took a couple more L's overnight and it looks bad, and I need to continue to reduce my risk in order to protect myself to get out of this drawdown. So, I mean, I'm drawing down into, I'm not even sure this is correct because I feel like I'm almost down here. I took another couple losses, which I'm going to evaluate on ETH. Each was around a 1% loss. I'm still continuing to risk 1%. On the month, negative 28,000, 0 wins, 9 losses. Like, something's going wrong. And one of the main things is I just haven't been spending enough time. So I'm back and I'm spending time. Now, one thing I've been saying is that I expect sideways action as the most likely outcome after taking so much liquidity in such a short period of time. It makes sense to move sideways and generate liquidity um, above the highs and the lows, which will help push some more volatile moves later. Um, and that's why I've been sort of trying to trade a range here. Now, unfortunately, overnight, this is quite annoying. I had a short like this, which did not get filled by 0.38%, and then I had a long like this, which did not get filled by 0.1%, only a couple dollars. Um, Both the short and long would be running at 2R, so I would have 4R. Instead, I was filled on neither, and I got stopped out on a couple ETH shorts. So this is, I need to modify my system. I tried to, okay, so I have a couple different setups, right? I have um, the daily exhaustion, which should have caught that Bitcoin top, but I didn't do it right. We haven't seen it on ETH yet. So ETH, to me, ETH hasn't reached its target yet, and it's very likely we go up here. After that, maybe we pull back. Maybe we get up here. I don't know. It just seems sort of unlikely we don't reach up here. Now, I have my inside ladder set up, which I'm going to try again here today on ETH. But for an inside ladder, I guess these two losses I took were avoidable and should not have happened. I'm hourly now. Let's let it load. Go to the 5 minute. Problem is, yeah, it was dumb. I had an inside ladder right in here and here. This one and this one. And I think my rule needs to be I need to be on the first or second inside rung. So, like, this one could have been okay. This one could have been okay. But expecting these to stand is a mistake, or planning for them to. So I had a long like this, and I had a long like this, something like that. They both got stopped out. And yeah, a mistake. I guess I considered to poke the gap here, but I didn't do it because I had the Bitcoin long from lower. I figured that would have filled. But I think I want to go back to trading both with small size and just splitting because they behave and act different. So what ends up happening, that poke the gap would have filled perfectly. The inside ladders would not have. However, I believe I can take a poke the gap now, or sorry, an inside ladder now, in this gap if it wants to fill or not, on account of we had a liquidity sweep perfectly and reversal, and now I think it would make a lot more sense to come up here. We could sweep lower a couple more times, but it would make sense to come up here. Doesn't have to, but it would make sense. Now, let's look at the Bitcoin chart. Do these shorts, longs and shorts still make sense? After missing? Maybe, maybe not. As we continue to expand, contract, expand, contract. Now I want to point out this didn't work. I made it too safe. Although I like 21,700, that wouldn't have worked either. But for my OG system, you start here, you measure out maybe 2%, and then 0.5%, and that's the entry. And we would be at about 2R right now, which really just anything. Any kind of small win, like anything. Everything's since New Year's, like everything's been an immediate stop out, almost. So, I'm not sure that these still make sense. I think the long probably does from lower on account of, I might adjust it. This can be my daily exhaustion. I can trade an inside ladder on ETH, and I'll trade my daily exhaustion on Bitcoin. And I'll probably actually go reduce the size a little bit more, just because I need to, yeah, start growing my account, or have it not, at least, disappear. So maybe like a 2% stop, 1.5%, something like this. Aiming above these. Idea. And maybe I'm wrong. I'm still like, we got a pretty nice rejection there. I'm still thinking we should go higher, but who knows? Maybe that's just totally wrong. I got fooled into the bullishness. If you look though, what's happening is things are getting, like, volatility is contracting, and we have a higher low and a lower high at the same time. So just interested to see what happens. Yeah. But those yeah, shorts could have worked. Mm, if we get a dump here, it'll be interesting to see where it goes. Like, if it comes all the way down and takes that out, that would be crazy. But I guess it would be possible too. So let me think about shorts. Like, I have a couple longs. I'm gonna run them. I'm gonna try to run like a lot of trades at small risk right now to just and take whatever is sort of valid. So I could also Let me just take all of them and just split them up. Make them small. I think that's the way to do it. So there's my daily exhaustion, which I can take on ETH also. And then I'm going to take my inside ladder on Bitcoin as well. So let's put the daily exhaustion is going to be 20,300. Inside ladder right here, which I might just run without us. I want to be towards the front of the gap here. Aiming for there. I think each one I'm gonna risk 1,000, which is less than 0.5%. And that's pretty fucking annoying that I didn't get filled on these things, but it's what it is. Back in the market order. I can daily exhaustion long under here too. Same sort of thing. 2.5. Do something like this. 1490. Here. Ether, I guess I could be interested in shorting in this range. 1490.82. I'm just gonna throw on all these ideas, and I'm not gonna inside short on ETH. Would it make sense on Bitcoin? I don't think so. Inside short right here. It could be. Something I could consider. Let's look at the liquidity profile, what's going on. This is what I like to see is for an inside ladder long. It's like it's hot above. I'm not gonna inside ladder over here, but still having a short up there might be okay. Yeah, the inside ladders on ETH was not very, it's not very good. I kind of still like that short actually. 11750. I might throw it back on. We'll do 117 with my stop for over 22,000. Here, I guess. Okay, I'm not going to do the inside short. It keeps taking outside liquidity anyways. And then we're gonna aim for ETH on the 1 hour. Short inside of here seems fine. Something like this. Price gets up here. And then I need to study it more, but a breakout long into this would be interesting. Something like that. Or if we get it, we're probably gonna just wick up quick, but that's something I need to work on. I think a short like this might be okay. Shorts before. Do an earlier short on Bitcoin. Screw them. 21.7, still a hot spot. Stop loss up to 22 seems okay. Okay, I'm gonna put on all of these, and I'm just gonna risk 1,000 per. But let's go and cancel risk. I just have to be patient and rebuild. That's the key. Risk management. Straight down $30,000 this month. Crazy, real bad. But yeah, something to learn. $1,000. Start with the inside ones divided by 1.13 divided by 50. See how much I'm gonna margin I need. I need to get back to doing a lot of back testing. So that's what I'm gonna do after I put these orders in. I'm gonna spend an hour or however long back testing. 27.17. Stop loss at 24.839. 24.8. Take profit will be or I don't even know if it makes sense to aim up here. There's a 20R. I think just aiming for new highs is probably a better way to go. 21. Just aim for 22,000. Work our way up. Okay. Number one. Number two. We're gonna use this much margin. Order price is gonna be 23.01. And our stop loss is gonna be 19.93. $59,000. That's not right. Okay, we can just aim for 20,000, 22,000 again. Okay. Then we're going to have And I realize if we go straight down, I will lose. Just take this low. I will take a $4,000 loss. I understand that. I accept it. Okay, now short here. Yeah, I need to do more backtesting. A combination of surfing, having my lady friend here, was good for my stress, but not good for me doing deep work. I was just I'm not blaming her in any way. I'm blaming myself for um, not being very focused when there's distractions. And well, I'm not even necessarily blaming myself. I'm saying like that was worth it. I can make $30,000 back in a month. 22,025. Something's not right about this one. $21,750. I'm looking for 2,000. Let's go to Ethereum. I think trying to trade inside is appropriate here. Or is it at least probably okay? Key to inside trade here is this would be the first, either a first rung on a ladder. I guess it depends when it happens. We have 4 hours, but this is a wonderful reaction of what you want to see after sweeping liquidity. Sweeping liquidity for a move in the other direction. Okay, let's go to ETH now. I have to kind of trust my system, which is ridiculous after it produces so many losers, and trust myself, but yeah, I'm learning and I'm not going to get out of drawdown by doing nothing. And I still believe I have positive expectancy, so um, yeah, it makes sense to keep going. 1529.14 with a stop loss at 1508.76. My take profit will be 1691. Okay. Honestly, yeah, any of these longs will just get me moving in the right direction. And even though I lost those, I want to take every high quality trade available to me on both assets because that will help me get out of drawdown faster. But by doing smaller size, um, it's also probably wise too. So this one, uh, although, yeah, I mean, again, I realize that I could get hurt on these. Which one am I doing? This one? Yes. 1490.82. This is 100% my focus right now is my trading. I have yeah, 1462. And then my take profit is what a setback this month has been, but still have all this runway and Yeah, we'll be okay. 1691. Okay, and then I have one more, which is a short from up here. Uh, it's kind of imprecise. You know, I think it makes more sense to try to do this just above here. This daily fair value gap. Then my stop can right on the edge here. I'll have a wider stop for this one. We can expect more volatility. Short in this area is probably okay. 2.5%. One of the wider stops I've used in a while. Oh, I need to decrease my margin for my leverage to allow for that. Otherwise, I will get liquidated. On by bet. Feel like I need to backtest every day. Like I have to find time for it. That's just how you, yeah, that's how you do. Gross. This is my margin. Okay, 17, 1692 to 1734. Probably down in this area at 1490. Okay, so I have a number of orders. Now, it's 9:45. I have an appointment at 1:30. I need to have lunch at 12:30. I would like to go surfing for an hour, but it doesn't necessarily have to happen. But I can at least spend the next 45 minutes backtesting. Okay, this is what we're going to do. So I'm going to do, this is the inside chart I was looking at on 8th. Like, what's wrong with an inside? It can't be the third rung of a ladder, and if we take this liquidity, we might as well take these. So that was just dumb. Dumb and bad. Now moving on. Let us, do we want to backtest a whole new range? I'm gonna do something familiar, okay? Semi-familiar. So this is where I could have gotten wrecked if I tried to long here and I tried to long here. But I didn't take any of those because I recognized the market wanted to trend. And I didn't cover here. Now, at what point do you say that we formed a range? Okay, I think it's okay to miss that short. So now, I think it's okay to say that we have formed a range now because we have compression, multiple highs, lows, we've taken major liquidity. So let's see what we see here. Now, long under here, short over this one. So we can just throw those on our chart as interesting ideas. Now that we've formed a range, taking this shouldn't necessarily take us further, like it might, but it doesn't necessarily have to. Okay, so this is an outside range to outside range trades, if those want to happen. Now, if we go into the 5-minute, we do get to think about some inside trades. So one of them, I kind of just want to try taking many trades here and just see what happens. So we can long right here. It's a little bit of a wider stop than I want. And we can also long right here. And let's look at possible shorts. Let's back up a little bit as well and see, why did we stop where we stopped? Okay, there's this first 1 hour fair value gap here, which we took. Now, it would be interesting to short right in here with an inside ladder and to aim for at the minimum here, but maybe from inside to outside. Let us try this. Let us play price action and see what it wants to do. Okay, so we did get filled and not stopped on this first area. And I kind of like moving stop to break even after such a nice move. Well, that wouldn't have been very wise, would it have? Aiming, I think we just aim for right here. Now, we haven't had enough expansion to want to do an inside ladder here. We also haven't taken enough. At this point, yeah, you just sit in this trade. We aim for just right above these highs. I think price might want to come down more first. So let's see how it goes. Okay. Have not been stopped. There's a -1. We can take that. Fine. It didn't really move that far in our favor. And I'm trying for like sort of a higher volume of trades. Now, let's zoom in a little bit. That short up there, this area has become quite interesting. Once again, the 17,100 area. Here's a 5R idea. So are we supposed to poke the gap? Or are we supposed to, because I already kind of know that I don't think we go all the way up here. Try something like this. Close. Okay, so this one did hit its target. Did I just move that or did that actually happen? No, that happened. So that's like as perfect as things can be. Okay, middle of the gap. More trades. +5 here. Okay, that looks like an entry. That is an entry. Now, there's 3 rungs to this ladder now. I don't like going long here and adding a 4th rung. Yeah, we're just aiming for a new low, and we're interested in doing this. And I think it's probably still interesting. It might be interesting to short over here, but probably not anymore now that this ladder is kind of formed. So if we get a long here, maybe we would pick the bottom and aim for. I know it takes ages to get up there, but something that could happen. Okay, let's stop for a minute. There's a lot of liquidity being built, and we're sitting in this long. Or this short. This is what I need to do every day back testing. I need to be religious about it. Yeah, I'm interested in short in here if we get that. I don't think it makes sense to long right here. Okay, so here we go. We got our +5 here. So easy in back testing, so hard in forward testing. Okay, we got our fill here. Now, at this point, we have to be interested in, can't be that interested in shorts. Like shorting in here might be interesting, but um, if we just look, all the liquidity is overhead. Just makes sense to go higher now. Okay, so we have double expansion. We can try this. We can try this short. We will try both longs. We will try a long that is maybe not quite an inside ladder from the middle here. And we can try another long right here. So we'll try some entries like this. Okay, we already got our fill on this one, actually. And with the long from the bottom, well, really, eventually to aim up there, it kind of makes sense to just aim up in here though, right? I think we do go lower than this actually, and this one may be stopped out. We will see. Yep, okay, we have a -1. This one was not quite filled. There may have been some trades in here. that interested in shorts though, under this compression. I guess there could have been a move like short right here, or I'm not sure if this would have filled, but quite a tight trade like this might have worked. Okay. So why is an inside ladder here? Okay, well, these are together. These are together. This is only the third of the rung here. So we can say that this will be okay. And we're going to aim for our stop loss. I prefer that. If one gets stopped, the other wins. And like trading like that. Hang on, where is our stop? The stop for this one should allow for this. But I still think it doesn't work, right? Um, should be strong support here. Okay, we got our poke the gap. -1, we got a +5. Um, okay, so we got a fill here, but I also I like this inside ladder here. Aiming, and again, we should probably aim for higher. This one fill. No, it doesn't even fill. I guess if I'm seeing this, which I might not be, like the time of day, we have our expansion away. I'm liking entering in the middle of gaps. Something like this. Okay. And then we can try the middle of this gap. And then I'm kind of interested in trying a breakout trade here, where we have right here, stop within these levels maybe. If price gets there, it triggers our long to go longer. And then we can try one short here, but I think it's more interesting to try shorts up here and up here. Okay. So what happened? This one never filled, which is fine. This one, this breakout trade idea is a -1. This long filled. I'm not going to advance my stop. I'm just going to take this loss. Let's back up here. Yep. I don't remember this section. Okay, well, I still like a long in here if we got it, actually. We don't remember if that happens, but Yeah, we use the middle of the gap, aiming higher. Have a nice move down. Um, Creating an inside ladder is reasonable here because we only have, this would be the first rung on the ladder and we could aim down here. Just something like that. We could also think about closing our 1, 2, 3 longs we have running up in these levels, but yeah, I think it still makes sense to aim for higher. Okay, we didn't get filled on. Wait, what's going on? I think this long, this short gets filled, right? This one. We didn't get filled on that one, which is fine. Then I probably don't want to trade inside after that happens. So I've had this long that I'm interested in, right? I don't think it fills. Let's back up. And the short maybe doesn't do what we want it to do. So how did we miss this one? Well, I think when there's a really large gap, like we just play a poke the gap, especially if, and then an inside ladder down here. So I think that's fine. And then really I would just want to close that after it retraces, most likely. And then I think I did catch this one. So we can try another inside ladder, like this would be the third rung. After this, we have to let it fly, but something like this. Okay, we got our fill. And we didn't get stopped out almost. Okay, now it's back up. So these are the levels. I have a short right here. These are the levels that we're closing on the longs as well in the meantime. So let's take an 8, an 8, 10. No, this one never filled. Yeah, an 8, an 8, a 10, and a 5. I need to do this every single day. Every single day I need to do this. Backtest every single day. Okay, now I'm interested in the short from these levels, which fills, does not stop me out, and I'm interested in longing this level. Okay, this all works great. +7. I need to do this every day, multiple times a day. Like, I have to. This is okay. That one was a stop out, which is fine. Let's work back here. And I actually did catch this bottom along here. This one I actually did catch that one too. Something like this is what I did. Okay. Now we can go for an inside ladder here. And the 17.1 level does not make a good short. Ended up being all these shorts are trash, and we need to go all the way up here. But yeah, it kind of makes sense though that we would. Oh, let's back up. This one fills here, and after this happens, it's probably okay to close in here. Now as price, I believe there was actually an interesting short here. If we go and drop down to a lower time frame, where okay, we can try an inside ladder here, something like this, real tight, down to our stop loss. Didn't quite get filled. Let's look at that again. First one, right? There's two, and my stop is so tight. There's no reason to not do this like that. Okay, there's where it takes the stop loss and doesn't quite break even on the first entry. Let's take a look. Me, it's not really obvious, but okay, we can try another inside ladder here. If we get stopped out of that one, is what this short long ends up being. This one, perfect. This one is a -1. I'm not going to say we got out. And this one runs to a +6. Now let's back up. This is the long that I took that could have been a $300,000 trade. It was a huge position, simply like this. Inside ladder after a sweep. Wait, what? Let's back up. I mean, I know I took this. Maybe it looked different on the other chart. Maybe it didn't work on this chart. Oh, or I did a poke the gap, but I know I actually did get filled on this. Yeah, something like that. Let's back up. This is a trade I did take, although I screwed it up. Oh, I see. It's just acting pumpy. Inside ladder after a sweep. Let's generally good. And then these ones, we want to aim. It's kind of crazy to think that this was the correct thing to do, is to aim all the way up to 21,000. That was an insane rally. This would be a 40R. And this one would be a 45R. Now, there was a couple more add-ons, and I think it's okay because as we're looking towards 17.1, kind of makes sense that we should go there. Do something like this one. So fill. It's going bananas. Congrats to anyone who did something like this. Say, hey, we're gonna form a huge ladder. Leave all this liquidity behind. Run to the highs. Every short didn't work. Running in here. Higher. We took the highs to 21.5. So we will take our 50, 50, 48. This is what I need to do every single day. It's only 10:15. I need to take a break and keep going. Let's look at current price action. Now I'm interested in, I'm going to do more. I'm not going to log all that, but I'm going to do more. I'm interested in an inside long here. That makes sense. And I have my daily exhaustion model, which is valid for 48 hours. I'm going to run that. Yeah, just run more trades with smaller position size. So like my daily exhaustion would have caught this, and I should have just had that running in addition to the other short idea I had, and had tried several shorts. So I can try the inside, I can try the daily exhaustion, which allows for a poking of this gap, and we'll see how we do. I mean, it might. I would expect a reaction in here after taking all this liquidity and major expansion, but we will see. It left a wick and a large gap up to on the 15-minute. But we'll see. Let me take a break, come back, do a little bit more back testing. Okay, we're back, and we are going to do some more back testing. I did get filled on both these Bitcoin and ETH positions. We'll see if I just get run out of them for stop. It's not really the reaction I'm hoping to see here, but we could get a reaction here. We could get a reaction here. We will see. I'm gonna try to not look that close. Instead, I'm going to do some more backtesting, this time with ETH. Pull some stuff up so I can't see. I want to backtest a different range this time. Just gonna pick something from. I want it to be somewhat recent so I can still use my um, no, I'll just do something a little bit older. Just use the 1 hour. I want it to be from bear market era times though. Mm, so it's a little bit red to start. Yeah, I need to try not to look. Okay, so we farmed this liquidity, we broke down, and the question is where we stop. Yeah, I mean, in retrospect, 800 was a good level to aim for. Um, with this wick, possibly. Let me just stick with the 1 hour. I'll trade what gaps I see on the 1 hour. You can try trading in this space here. Aiming above, like maybe a couple highs. Shorting here. Man, it's hard not to look, huh? Well, it looks like we are getting a little bit of a reaction. So we could just keep bleeding down. That is what I'm looking for, is reacting in this fair value gap area, which so far has happened. We consumed it, and then, yeah, I could have used a more precise entry, I suppose. But something that I'm working on is getting in more trades. So yeah, now a challenge is going to be to not stare at these. But again, I'm just prepared to lose as always and keep decreasing my sizing as I do so. Yeah, we'll see. If we just don't want to push lower, or we get a nice reaction at these levels. And otherwise, I have some shorts from lower, longs from lower that are interesting, a couple of shorts from higher that are interesting. Uh, we will see, and I will continue to reevaluate. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like everything I try this month has been instantly red, like drawdown, stop out, almost. Just been a rough month. Like, okay, I had a long right here. You know, I want to look at yesterday's long on ETH. I think it was something like that. But I guess I should have considered just TPing earlier, like if I had been awake to see this, that we sweep the high and then like start to break down. This should be a TP. And then this one is maybe okay, but yeah, like maybe I just need to be. The problem is, when did this happen? That all happens in the middle of the night. When I'm asleep, it's like here. But yeah, maybe my take profit needed to be just a 2-for-1. Like, let's just, because it was, yeah, I think that's a problem with this setup, is it doesn't make sense to go to the higher targets without taking some liquidity from lower first. So it probably made sense to just have like a TP like this on this trade and to, yeah, just take my 2R. So I think the other one was probably not good. This one, can't say I'm really loving the reaction now, but I just need to give it a little bit of time. Try to get back to some back testing here. Okay, so here's some ideas. I'm going to stick with the 1 hour in this session because I don't have access to the 5 minute. Okay, so we are very close to a short level. We didn't quite hit it. Maybe it would have made sense to short in here. Maybe that's a better idea. Do we go higher? Nope. Why was this a good long? I think it was inside too, actually. Yeah. Well, that's not really tradable for me because it was inside and there weren't any key levels to take either. Just the Bitcoin one is behaving a little bit better. Yeah, I could have just grabbed a 2R overnight. This is maybe what I need to do for these range shorts, or these, if I'm going to take like these inside trades. I can't hold them to big outside targets. So if I had just done that a little bit different, taking the first trade, not the second trade, first trade close at 2R. Okay, there's my win on the month, and I'm starting to. Now I'm up 4,000 instead of down 4,000. So, yeah. Okay, there's our win. This one, split load. Why is it having an issue? 2. Steve, go back here. Or I guess it makes sense to continue to trend down. We are bleeding pretty bad. I mean, short ideas up here, quite interesting, although we did get there. Okay, now we say, when does a range form? What does it mean for a range to form? I don't want to take. Okay, now it looks like a range is forming. Maybe. I think we have another. Like, now can we be interested in longs? At what point? Okay. Now, just trying on the 1 hour. We can try a short here. We can try a short here. And we can try a long here. And we can also try a long here. Gaps for entries. We'll see. Okay, we have our entry. Should we go higher? Am I getting stopped out? Let me just try things. Say, hey, this may be an inside ladder. We could try. I think price maybe goes higher. Like, try something with a real tight invalidation here. And if it's a -1, it's a -1. It's okay. I think it's better to not aim for a new low, but to aim for still pretty good. Aim for something like this. Okay, there's a -1 on both of those. And it kind of sucks because it looks like we don't get filled on either of these. Fixed range, what is that? So I'm not going to do any market orders. If I missed this one, I just missed it. Maybe there was a lower time frame reason to go there. We didn't even make it to the gap. That's okay. That said, now we could look for retracement ideas though. Um, on an inside. So that one didn't fill. We could try right here with an inside rather. Aiming not for new lows, but for somewhere down here at least. Here we get our fill. Price moving down. And there were more opportunities to add there, but again, I like only doing the one. Then I think it would be reasonable to guess long in this area could have been okay, but I think we wait for these to go. And then we can try long in this area. Okay. That worked too well. Why did that work? I just used the first 1 hour gap beyond this. That's the basic here. We go +7. See how the current trade is going. It is not really doing too much. The eighth one is working its way down almost. If we just break down, I'll feel not very good or smart. But we still have this. If this goes and then yeah, really not even that far from my stop, I have a pretty tight stop. But the idea is if we don't bounce here, who knows where price goes. But yeah, maybe I'm way wrong and we topped and I went bullish at the top again. Look, macros. Why is the market going down? Other than the chart reason, I wonder if there's some kind of event. But yeah, the seeing something. Curious if there was some red folder here that I didn't know about. Okay, losses in Honeywell. Don't know why. I guess it's a problem with trading limit orders in general is I need price to move against me to get filled. I don't know, that's not a bad start for Bitcoin at least. That's kind of the reaction that I'm looking for. And okay, back to back testing. So, I mean, we could have thought about adding here in a couple places everyday back testing. We have. So inside ladder, 1, 2, 3. We can do it one more time, right? So this actually, I think, would have worked. However, yeah, just a really tight inside ladder. Aiming for what? These equal lows. And we want to just belong under these equal lows. That actually would have filled and not stopped out. And would have ran for a ridiculous 20 plus 20. I have a lot more trades now that I can do inside ladder. So this one, we took the equal lows. When we have an expansion, we can do an inside ladder again. And then we could also try the level, that doesn't look good, the level below. So maybe what I'm doing wrong here with Bitcoin is that I might need to say I can only enter on 1 hour gaps. We had a wick. I don't know, I think maybe 5 minutes okay. Backtest every day. Let's do it. Okay, so let's try this inside. The inside does fill. There's a couple interesting longs down here. I don't think we get a chance. So I guess we're definitely aiming for at least these, but at this point, I think it would make sense to, yeah, it goes crazy, right? It makes sense to just aim for way higher at this point. This one never fills. This one never fills. There might have been a couple ideas here. So here's an idea. This gap. And the idea is it wouldn't even form a ladder because it would just come right here in reverse. So our stop could even be in this one. And that this one we'll just aim for right here. And we can have a short here, but again, I think it makes sense to see higher prices. Right, we get our pullback, and we could try long in this one. Okay. Interesting. So we came all the way back here. And I guess for this long in particular, as price comes up here and it does this, we should probably advance our stop. Yeah. For catching this long down here, I don't think it makes sense to wait for expansion. Okay, like now. This one, I don't think there's any way that these are running still. It makes sense as price begins to rejects and consolidates here to close in this area here for a 3, 6, and 7. Now this one to me is probably too hard to catch, but maybe my daily system can catch it. But I think it would be more interesting in trying to as we expand. Ideally to belong in here. I think it runs away though. Let's see. It does. But I guess it makes sense to long in this region. Then it makes sense to do long in here. This one would be to aim for much higher. Okay, after that, no. This one did fill actually. No, it did not fill. But I think we need to get used to, for ETH, going towards the front of these gaps. Although this one turns around and ends up going higher anyways. Yeah. Which is maybe kind of made sense at this point. Like, how long can this area be, oops, respected? Kind of makes sense to have a nice rally at some point. But if this is missed, it's fine. Probably not catching that. And instead, I probably take a +0 on this short here. This one can be a +5. Okay. At this point, it's like waiting for a new range to form, I guess. We have several doubles that we could revisit later. Um, do we get all the way to 2200? Over 2000, I think we do, right? Okay, we have a nice range forming inside. The third rung is of the ladder here. So let's go back and look at that, what happened in here. So we're forming a range. We could maybe try shorting inside here, aiming for lower, and then the most interesting would be under these, but as price action develops, okay, we get a fill, and it gets tighter, then it makes sense to try trading inside of this as well. And we can have try multiple times at smaller size. Okay, and as this expands, longing inside here is like what I did. That's smart. I may just need to go back to paper trading for a bit. It's so bad. Okay, I'm gonna go surfing here real soon. Yeah, we expand so much there wasn't even a chance to get in there. At this point, probably shorts longs over here, aiming for these highs. I think we didn't. Yeah, when there's a big gap, you enter near the front of the gap, honestly. Here, okay. We have our expansion away, and we have so much liquidity overhead. We could try something like this. Don't know that it fills. This one, there's multiples. Could have made sense to do something like this. Aiming just for this 19,000 area, okay, which we got there. And then short right here. Okay, come back. No. Okay, I'm gonna take a break and go surfing, but the longs are acting right now. And this is a commitment. Like every single day, I need to backtest like this and just go through old price history. I've been slacking incredibly, and it's cost me a lot of money. That said, I've had a wonderful time surfing and being social, so I can only be so upset with myself. And yeah, thanks to risk management, I'm okay. Keep making my position sizes smaller. Switch to paper trading if I need to, and just practice more. So much love. Thank you for watching, and let's get it.